And the reason we're here is just, 40 or 50 yards away from us, the Capital One trophy. It's decked in amber and white ribbons. Will it be amber or will it be white at the final whistle? No matter how often you come to this stadium, it's never matter of fact. It's always special. To my left, a sea of Swansea City supporters waving ecstatically their white flags, but no surrender. To the right, the amber and maroon of Bradford City. Both clubs have seen such testing times, and now both are in sight of history as the two teams line up in the tunnel. And Ian Walsh, just how nervous are those players in the tunnel now?
Well, they will be totally on edge. They'll be so nervous, and until they get a first touch of the ball, that's when they'll get into their comfort zone. These players are good enough to be here in this major cup final today, and as soon as they get their first touch of the ball, they'll just go into something that they do day in, day out, have a game of football. And the most important thing, Rob, with players in an occasion like this is for them to try to enjoy it, and by doing that it tends to settle your nerves a bit better, but that's easier said than done.
Well, I was going to say, it isn't any ordinary game. I'm looking in front of us and there are fire bursting in front of us. We've had fireworks, and at the moment the players lined up behind the red carpet are engulfed in white smoke from the firecrackers.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. They do put on a show here at Wembley for these for the playoff finals, the cup finals, and you know, long may that continue. But it's great for these players. This is a memory that lasts an absolute lifetime for the players, and a lifetime and more for the players' families, because this is such an achievement to play in a major cup final. And I have to say, more so for the Bradford players, because some of the Swansea players, after the season they've had, could expect this to maybe come again. But for the Bradford players, some of this will be the first and last time they'll set foot on this fantastic football field.
So Ashley Williams, the Swansea team skipper, introduces the party led by Fabrice Muamba, who really needs no introduction, the former Bolton player who not too long ago almost passed away. Well, actually, in medical terms, I think he did pass away at White Hart Lane, was brought back to life, and he gets an embrace from Gary Jones, the Bradford City captain. Muamba, a fitting touch this, leading the ceremony.
Yeah, fantastic. It's an emotional day anyway, but to add something like that to it, and that emotional interview with Terry Yorath about half an hour ago, just, for me, it just adds to a fantastic arena of sport, and this is fantastic for the Swansea City players. But I must say, completely on the fence for the Bradford City players as well. That club has gone through a heck of a lot over the last few decades, but they're here today. They've got to put everything behind them, and they've got to somehow go and enjoy this occasion as much as they can.
So it's times like this, the players have just stood there behind the red carpet. There won't be any anthems today. And now they go past the match referee, Kevin Friend of Leicestershire. Big day for him as well. And now they shake hands, the last final handshake with their opposite numbers, as Gary Jones, the former Swansea player, leads his team past the current crop, the Swansea City class of 2013. And you just see quite how big this Bradford side are now, not least Matt Duke, who 5 years ago was fighting a battle against prostate cancer. And it's fitting again, given that he is in goal for Bradford City, that it's Prostate Cancer UK who are the Football League's official charity partner. And we welcome listeners from FM in the southeast who've been listening to Cardiff City extending their lead at the top of the championship with a 2-1 win at Wolves. We're at Wembley Stadium now, all eyes on Swansea City and Bradford City in the Capital One Cup final. Let me run you through the teams again. Swansea City, Gerhard Tremmel, their League Cup goalkeeper, keeps his place. In front of him, Angel Rangel, surprise choice. Ki Sung-young, the South Korean international midfield player, will line up at the heart of the defence alongside the captain Ashley Williams and the Welsh international Ben Davies. Then it's Leon Britton, Jonathan de Guzman, Nathan Dyer in the midfield, and then on the flanks Wayne Routledge, Pablo Hernandez and Michu, 18-goal top scorer. On the bench for Swansea City, Michel Vorm, Gary Monk, Dwight Tiendali, Itai Schechter, Kemi Augustian, the new boy Roland Lamar and Luke Moore. Bradford City have Matt Duke in goal. Across the back, Stephen Darby, Rory McArdle, Carl McHugh and Curtis Good. In midfield, Gary Thompson, Gary Jones, Nathan Doyle and Will Atkinson. And up front, the danger men, Big James Hansen and 18-goal, same as Michu, 18-goal Necky Wells, the Bermudan international. He's short of stature, but he knows where the goal is. Scored against Aston Villa. And on the bench, John McLaughlin, the goalkeeper, Ricky Ravenhill, Andrew Davis, Kyle Reid, Alan Connell, Zavon Hines and Blair Turgott. 70 places between these two teams, and it counts for nothing.
Absolutely nothing on the day. It's who can step up to the plate, who can deal with the excitement, the adrenaline, the nervous tension, who can do all that and just do things that you do day in, day out. I think the fascinating thing for me early on was to see how Bradford adopt to their system in the early moments, whether they do, as Paul Jewell said a few moments ago, they do pack it and play deep and invite Swansea onto them, but make it really difficult to break through them through the middle and try to frustrate Swansea City, because Swansea City for sure will not change their system of play. They'll get the ball down, they'll pass and move, try to get Angel Rangel in and Ben Davies on the other side and see if they can open them. And I think if a goal goes in, I think it's very important. Leighton James was saying with Simon just before they came over to us, the first goal is important. If Bradford get it, I think there's a game on our hands here. If Swansea get it and they get another one quite quickly, they could pass Bradford off the park.
Another great day for Welsh football. It's a great day anyway. We're almost ready to go in the 2013 Capital One Cup final. Swansea City players break from their huddle. Bradford City in their amber and maroon hooped shirts are playing from right to left. They won the toss and Swansea City will kick off. Michu stood over the ball with Wayne Routledge. The Swansea City class of 2013 looking to write themselves into the club history books. It's the Bantams against the team who regularly take on the heavyweights in the Premier League. And Ki Sung-young gets an early touch. The centre-back, Ian Walsh, are you surprised?
Well, again, there was talk through the week that they were looking at playing Ki back there. Everybody was talking whether it would be Kyle Bartley or Gary Monk. So it is surprising, because any ball that comes into the box, you'd prefer to have the likes of Gary Monk there or Bartley, because they are natural defenders and natural headers of the ball. But Swansea will have so much possession that it's important that sometimes the likes of Ki or Ashley Williams can step forward into midfield and make up that extra number.
Well, we've played almost a minute and I don't think a Bradford player's touched the ball yet. Swansea City hold on to it with Angel Rangel. Nathan Dyer pulled wide on this right-hand side. Hernandez is just inside him, goes back to Rangel. Now he picks out Hernandez and Dyer on the overlap into the penalty area from the right-hand side. Crosses low, and it's a corner in the opening minute and 10 seconds.
Yeah, disappointing ball from Dyer there, really, the end product. Fantastic build-up. You know, they just passed their way through Bradford in midfield. Hernandez in that great position between the midfield and the defenders. He's able to turn, set up Dyer, but a poor ball. But it's a corner.
De Guzman takes this corner from the right-hand side. Swung away, cleared away by Gary Jones, the Bradford City captain. But Swansea have possession again. Little Leon Britton, been through 10 years. He said, we've never been such red-hot favourites for a game. This is Routledge. Favourites are starting well. Into the penalty area. Cross. Michu just passes Michu. And it's picked up on that right-hand side by Gary Thompson. Played away only as far as Ben Davies, the Welsh international left-back. Davies curls the ball into the box. Michu gets the header. De Guzman just beaten to it by Will Atkinson. And now Bradford look to break away. Ki Sung-young is making sure short. Tremmell gets a free run at it. First touch of the Swansea keeper, lobs it into the Bradford half, and then it's headed out for a throw-in.
Yeah, but so many players pushing forward here. That one ball over the top, it was one against one. Swansea in total control with Key, but Key he'll have that eagerness to get forward, I'm sure. You know, as a midfield player, you know, yes, you're asked to do a job in that central defensive position, but I tell you what, I think he'll be itching to get forward as much as possible. 2.5
minutes gone on BBC Radio Wales, the home of Welsh sport. Almost a second home is Wembley of Welsh football. And it's 0-0 between Swansea City of the Premier League and League Two side Bradford City, who've already knocked out top flight sides Wigan, Arsenal and Aston Villa to reach this final. Rangel on the attack, lays it through to Routledge, gets to the byline on the right hand side. Again, the cross is too strong for Michu, who had a bit of space there, and it's cleared away by the former Scunthorpe player Gary Thompson. And that is Hansen, James Hansen, appeals for handball. But Leon Britton tidies up in front of his two centre-backs, the unfamiliar Key and Ashley Williams, and Dyer, who's seen an awful lot of the ball in the opening 3 minutes or so, finds Michu. Hernandez. Michu and Dyer exchange passes, all a bit too short there though, and they've lost possession. Rangel tries to win it back. He does so, but he's played it into the path of McArdle. Big centre-back sends the ball out to the left-hand side. Bradford almost into the Swansea half for the first time in an attacking sense. Jones, the balding captain, former Swansea player, wide to Atkinson. Atkinson cuts in on the left-hand side. Back to Jones. This is happening just inside the Swansea City half. Curtis Good, the Australian, on loan from Newcastle, feeds it forward. They're holding on to it with Will Atkinson. Tries to go down the left-hand side. Britton is there to block his path inside. Atkinson holds it again. Sneaks the ball inside, but straight to De Guzman. And Swansea have retrieved possession. 4 minutes gone, goalless.
Yeah, goalless, but well done to Bradford. They've kept the ball there for a little while down this left-hand side. Just going back to a chance at the start of that build-up for Routledge. You know, you can argue that it was a good ball or a bad ball into the box, but I think the three players, Dyer, Hernandez and Michu, all went into the same position for the cross from Routledge. You know, you have to spread yourself, you have to have someone deep, you have to have someone going to the near post. But, you know, I don't think they gave Routledge, although I don't think it was a particularly good ball, they didn't give him many choices.
Here he goes again, Wayne Routledge. I really do feel he's been transformed by the arrival of Michael Laudrup, who is stood there in his grey overcoat. He always looks cool no matter what. And Phil Parkinson is opposite number. 10 years in management on Monday for Phil Parkinson. What a bit of an anniversary. But Swansea City pick up possession, feed it into Michu into the penalty area. It was Hernandez who played it through to the Spanish hotshot, and that was a first touch for Matt Duke, the Bradford goalkeeper. 0-0.
Yeah, it's 0-0, and you've seen in these opening minutes how this game will pan out. Swansea totally dominant in possession of the ball, but if they don't have quality in the final third and they get a bit frustrated with any balls that are coming into the box and lack of chances, then that's just something that Bradford will have worked on. You know, they're working tremendously hard, Bradford, to keep 2 banks of 4, and then sometimes I think it's McArdle he drops back in that central defensive position, and Naki Wells drops back from the centre forward position into midfield to try to make up the numbers there for Bradford.
Swansea City, first time past the 4th round in the League Cup for them, and they go all the way to Wembley in Michael Laudrup's first season. And okay, the neutrals are with Bradford. That's a point accepted by the Swansea manager. Routledge is just offside for De Guzman's through ball. A point accepted that the neutrals are backing Bradford today, which is rare. But as Laudrup said, we've got an awful lot of fans in Spain, Denmark and Korea.
Yeah, well, you know, looking at the Welsh teams, whenever they've got to the finals, really, in recent years, they've been, to a certain extent, the underdogs. And but Swansea have got this, you know, big odds-on favourites to win this game today. But the game isn't that simple. You know, the game isn't that simple. The lads still have to work hard, they still have to concentrate, just do the same things they've done all season.
Now, the first set piece, it was deep in Bradford's half, but Matt Duke had no hesitation, the goalkeeper, in driving it forward. They did win the first head, but they lost possession of Bradford. Now they're having to ferry back. As a little scuff tackle from Will Atkinson holds up Swansea City, who work it patiently through Nathan Dyer. Routledge almost ushered off the ball by Nathan Doyle, former Derby player. And then there's a sliding tackle from Curtis Good, on loan from Newcastle. But it's tidied up by little Leon Britton. How often have we said that? Fed left to Davis, just inside the Bradford half. Davis looks for the run of Michu. It's beyond the Spanish striker, and it's cleared away by McArdle.
I think that's a nice...
out for a throw-in.
Yeah, sorry, Rob. I think that's a nice ploy from Swansea. We've seen one or two times where Bradford might think Swansea will want to keep the ball short, neat and tidy, play it in front of you. Then all of a sudden there's a ball over the top. Routledge was caught offside. Michu has had that one just over the top. I think that's a nice play from Swansea City, just to change it, to keep Bradford on the toes.
Still 0-0. You're listening to Radio Wales Sport. Been a good weekend so far for Welsh teams in action, with Wrexham and Newport winning yesterday. Wrexham back here a month's time in the FA Trophy final, making it a complete Grand Slam of Welsh clubs to play at Wembley in the last year or so. And it will be Newport County as well, winning yesterday. Cardiff have beaten Wolves 2-1 today to go 8 points clear of the top of the championship. Here it's 0-0 with Swansea City. Ball picked up by Gary Jones, former Carnarvon player. That's where he was spotted by the Swans. Under Stephen Darby, who's played in Europe with Liverpool, the Bradford City right back. Doyle hoists the ball forward. First chance for Necky Wells to chase it. Ashley Williams watches it out. Does he watch it out? No, it's a throw-in to Swansea City in their left-back position, right by the corner flag.
Well, they've got a bit of pace up there with Necky Wells. He's a player that'll just play off the shoulder of the big lad Hansen, and once you get any opportunity, I think, in the Swansea half, Bradford will want to put that ball in the box.
Didn't clear it very far, Swansea City, but Will Atkinson has given the ball away. This is Dyer. Some surprise that he started, Nathan Dyer, and he's appears to be in because Key is at centre-back. So far untroubled, the Korean, though he has played centre-back previously for Swansea City. 0-0. Coming up to 10 minutes gone. Ball down the right-hand side. Rangel, as ever, is happy to go forward. Lobs the ball into the 6-yard box. Matt Duke collects, and no real pressure from Michu, was blocked off on his way to the Bradford keeper.
Yeah, I thought that was great play from McHugh and McArdle. They just made sure that Michu couldn't go in and challenge Matt Duke. He's a big lad, Matt Duke. I would have expected him to gather that one anyway.
Notice
the two central defenders have really looked after the keeper there.
I noticed they've played every big clearance out towards Ben Davis's side here, Walsh.
Yeah, that's interesting. And you think that Angel Rangel is not as good in the air. Ben's not bad in the air. Ben's quite a big lad anyway. But I think they would have targeted maybe Angel Rangel in terms of defensive frailties, because he's not the quickest. Fantastic football brain on Angel Rangel. You know, he gets forward, he times his run to perfection. So he's got loads and loads of things in his armoury. But the one thing he hasn't got sheer pace. And when he does defend sometimes in his own box, it's quite nervous to watch.
Dyer's given the ball away to Doyle, and Jones sends Hansen, big Hansen, out on the left-hand side. Key has come with him. He's got support from Atkinson. Atkinson holds it up 12 yards from the corner of the Swansea penalty, lays it back to Curtis Good. Good curls the ball in, looking for Hansen, got a touch, they headed it out. Jones waits for it to bounce comfortably. Good lobs it over Nathan Dyer, can't keep control though, and it's fed to Michu. Michu starts the counter, sees the break on the left-hand side of Hernandez. Hernandez onto his right foot, curls it through to Michu, edge of the box. Vital tackle from McHugh as Michu threatened to take that ball into the penalty area.
Yeah, fantastic ball. Hernandez has got so much vision on the ball. He's so difficult to pick up in that little gap between defenders and midfield, and then he's got the ability, you know, the Javis of this world, you know, wonderful player to watch. Really good, pleasing on the eye, great balance, and very gifted in very, very many forms. I think his movement away from defenders and his ability to find a pass is brilliant.
He's a top-notch Spanish international, is Pablo Hernandez. Confederations Cup player with Spain, and of course European action with Valencia. And what a great signing he's proved to be by Michael Laudrup, looking for a Wembley hat-trick today, the Swansea manager. He won at Wembley with Denmark in 1983, and then in 1992 he was part of the Barcelona team that won the European Cup against Sampdoria. The old Wembley, of course, but it all counts. And he's watching his side have the lion's share of possession, as he would have expected in the opening 13 minutes in the Capital One Cup final. On BBC Radio Wales, as Hansen heads on the ball, wins the header, that time ahead of Ashley Williams, but Key got there before Naki Wells. The diminutive striker there, definitely a little enlarged strike partnership, Hansen and Wells. As Ashley Williams, who used to work in a fun fair when he was a theme park, when he was a part-time player with Hensford. And it was interesting, when I was at Bradford earlier in the week, Ian Walsh, the players, when I asked players there who they really admired in the Swansea team, they said Leon Britton and Ashley Williams, because they've come up through the ranks, which is what they want to emulate.
Which is fantastic, and I think that
but they said the danger man was Michu, and Michu gets near the penalty area now, almost threaded through by Routledge. Ball out to the right-hand side, and Nathan Dyer. Dyer attacks his marker into the penalty area from this near side. Rangel crosses from the right-hand side. Ben Davies with a header. Duke was scrambling, but it was always going wide.
Yeah, again, I think it was the old eyes shut movement there from Ben Davies. It was a good ball into the far post for him from Angel Rangel, and I think he should have done a lot better with the header. But maybe he got caught out and surprised to find himself in that position.
Also part of our team today, Gareth Blaney at pitch side. Yeah, good header by Ben Davies. I think Duke was always fairly certain he was going wide, but he took no chances. And next break in play, we'll hear from Swansea City legend Leighton James, who completes our Radio Wales side here this afternoon, watching Swansea City in their first major final in their 101-year history, taking on League Two Bradford City, 0-0. We've played nearly 15 minutes on the home of Welsh Sport, and that's fairly aimless from Key, who apologises quickly. Straight through to Duke, who's resplendent all in green, Matt Duke, and clears right-footed high into the Wembley sky, underneath the arch. Hansen wins the header. Wells heads it straight out to the right-hand side. Gary Thompson attacks down the Bradford right. Curls the ball into the box. Cleared away by Key. Swansea haven't got it fully clear. They will now, though. Lovely ball from de Guzman to send Routledge down the middle. Routledge attacking. Michu's on his left. This is Michu. Edge of the penalty area. Michu shoots. It's safe, but Dyer has fallen up. It's first blood to Swansea City in the League Cup final. Nathan Dyer runs all the way towards Michael Laudrup. The Swans are celebrating. 16 minutes gone. Swansea City 1, Bradford City 0.
Well, that's all come from Bradford's best opportunity going forward. The ball gets in the box. They break away Swansea on the halfway line. Routledge runs and runs with the ball. Defenders retreated and retreated. Shouldn't have done that. And then all of a sudden he's just flipped it out to the left to Michu. Michu just pulls the trigger with his left foot across the face of goal. Keeper can only parry it. And there he is. Little Nathan Dyer coming into the box at the far post to finish off a really, really simple chance. But the thing was for me, Rob, it came when Bradford had a reasonable chance in the box.
And they've attacking again. Thompson overhits the cross this time. And what a start. You can't say Swansea City haven't deserved something. They've absolutely dominated the opening 16 minutes. But as Ian Walsh says, it came from a Bradford City attack. Now, hymns and arias, rings around Wembley. No anthems before this game, a Swans anthem being sung during it. That tells you all you need to know about the scoreline, but there's a long way to go, and we'll hear from Leighton James in a moment. I'm sure he'll be waxing lyrical about Nathan Dyer tapping home from just the yard. Turns out to be a bit of an inspired choice, you have to say, if it stays like this. 1-0 to Swansea City. One or two Bradford fans looking glum, and they must be feeling the worst now, mustn't they?
Well, you know, I was just about getting to a stage there. We're talking the game up about 15 minutes. Bradford would have been reasonably happy. Yes, Swansea have all the possession, but some of the balls in the box from Swansea were disappointing. So Bradford have thought, okay, that's fine if they keep on doing that, but goals are...
Oh, hang on, Wells has intercepted in midfield, attacks all by himself really, runs into a sea of white shirts. The follow-up will break to Thompson on the right-hand side. Immediately Ben Davies scurries back to put pressure on Derby now, and Bradford are back in their own half. That was good smothering by the Swansea City defence. Long ball forward, looking for Hansen, wins the ball against Key, but Rangel's waiting to head it back towards Gerhard Tremmel. And again, they've made no secret of the way they're going to play, and it's fairly obvious.
Well, exactly, and he's pulling off to Key. If you know, just Key, you know, for me, I've been a bit worried about him because he's looking around. It's such it's not a natural position for him. He's not covering Ashley Williams on occasion, and when he goes to attack the header, he just looks so ordinary as from an aerial point of view. I'll tell you what, Ben Davies took a while to get back there as well when that broke down.
Ball over the top, Ashley Williams hits it long. Nathan Dyer almost gets there, but it bounces up into the hands of Matt Duke. We will hear from Leighton James, for at the moment there's no sign of the ball being played out. And it's 1-0 to Swansea City, 19 minutes gone in the Capital One Cup final, as Wells tries to wriggle through down the right-hand side. Again, Swansea have numbers there, and it's easy for Key, all by himself almost on the edge of the penalty area. Slides it out to Davis in a fairly carefree fashion, exchanges passes with Hernandez, and it's back with the captain Ashley Williams. Midway inside his own half, Swansea City leading 1-0, and I think they pass with more purpose this season, but no matter what, when you're chasing passes like this, you're bound to get tired on a pitch like this.
Absolutely, it's frustrating for the opposition, but you mentioned it there, you have to keep passing with a purpose. 1-0 is a good lead early on in the game, but Swansea still, for me, they have to go and look to that second goal. And I think that is crucial. If they start just passing it for passing its sake without that movement forward or trying to go and get that second goal with purpose, you know, there's always just that one goal in it and anything can happen.
Doyle for Bradford City inside his own half, plays it left to Good, the Australian. Back to Doyle again from Barnsley in the summer, chips it out to that right hand side. Again the header is won by a Bradford player. Ashley Williams tries to clear it downfield. Derby waits for it to roll past him, lays it back, and it's fairly awkwardly by McArdle to Matt Duke. The ball is out for a throw in. Leighton James. Former Swansea City player Leighton James, alongside me the former Swan striker Ian Walsh. Joyous that they're leading by 1-0 against League Two Bradford City, looking for another. Michu tries to chip the ball over a defender to the run of Hernandez. Jones ricochets as he tried to clear it back to Matt Duke. I think he'll be able to pick that up no problem. And it's still 1-0 to Swansea City. Nathan Dyer the goal scorer, 21 minutes gone on BBC Radio Wales.
Yeah, and Bradford will want a time here of a bit of consolidation, I think, and you know, for the game to slow a bit down, slow the pace down, you know, because one goal is one goal, and you know, everybody expected Swansea were going to get a goal this afternoon, and it's how Bradford have talked about it, I'm sure, in midweek. If they go 1-0 down, you know, don't panic, don't try to rush forward and leave more gaps at the back. One goal is still only one goal.
And they picked up possession in midfield with a busy Doyle. Easily recognisable with luminous green boots. Chip forward to Naki Wells. He's not the biggest, so he's not going to win that. Swansea pick up possession. Well controlled by Dyer in the centre circle. Dyer looks for Michu, but again McArdle judged his header well. Didn't make the run with the Spanish player. Just held his ground to head it away. Ball crossed towards the edge of the box. Key just about got a touch on the header to play into the path of Rangel. And de Guzman in the orange boots is waiting for it. And the Dutch international now, of course, played it forward. It's back with Ashley Williams, the Swansea City skipper, with the Swans leading 1-0. 22 minutes gone here at Wembley in the Capital One Cup final.
Yeah, after a great first touch on that ball from Leon Britton, fired at him on the volley to Nathan Dyer in the centre circle. You know, your great first touch. And then I think he got a bit carried away, trying to play the ball over the top for Michu. There was two simple passes, Routledge out to the right, Hernandez to the left, in far easier positions to keep the momentum going, but he just, well, he's full of confidence, he's just scored, so why not try it? You don't blame him.
No, you don't. This is Leon Britton relishing every moment. Dyer helps it on to Hernandez. 5 yards from the penalty area. Not quite the good first control, but Routledge has found Rangel on the overlap. Rangel lays it back and it's headed out for a Swansea City corner. Their second in the opening quarter of this game, and they lead 1-0.
They need 1-0, and that's why Angel Rangel is such a top player. That you know, his timing of that pass and the way he's learned to play with different midfield players and wide players especially, you know, they know when Routledge comes in off the line, there's the run of Angel Rangel round, and then he can thread the ball between central defender and fullback. Time and time again that we see Angel do that.
De Guzman with his corner from the Swansea right, takes it right footed, curls away from the keeper, headed up in the air towards the edge of the box, misses Ashley Williams, picked up by Hernandez, thought about chipping it, I think, laid it square to the goal scorer Nathan Dyer. Key is up from the back, De Guzman curls it. Duke wasn't sure, neither was Stephen Darby, left it and it bounced up. I think it was a bit of leg spin on that cross. And it's cleared away by Derby out for a throw-in, but they weren't very happy then, Bradford City.
No, it wasn't on the fans, to be fair to them, behind the goal. They might have seen a little deflection at the referee, and the assistant were too far away from it. So maybe they've got their just rewards here. Routledge failing to get a first touch on the throw-in, and it's gone for a goal kick to Bradford.
So Phil Parkinson, the Bradford City manager, being tipped for much greater things, of course. He used to be at Colchester with our very own Geraint Williams as his assistant, did Parkinson. And he's seeing his side at the moment chasing the game. They're trailing 1-0, but they won't panic yet.
That was quality play in a very simplistic way from Ashley Williams there. He's gone through the ball with so much power. And the striker Naki Wells was there. He took man and ball, went straight through him. Total commitment, not taking the foot off the pedal. You'll never see that from Ashley Williams.
Key headed away from the edge of the box. Britton turns, always in control, finds Rangel, touch to De Guzman, and then suddenly they're up to Dyer, 10 yards inside their own half. Back to Key again. Key wide to Davis. Davis is, I make this his 36th senior appearance. He's already got a few Welsh caps and he's playing at Wembley.
Yeah, in a season that possibly we would have not seen him.
And last season he was youth
Neil
team.
Taylor had been fit, but you know, he's grasped his opportunity with both hands.
He's saying he's the same old Ben Davis though. At the moment he's joining the attack. Michu tries to head it back to Routledge from the edge of the box rather than Davis, who was in behind the Spanish striker. Now ball played into the Swansea half. Important header from Ashley Williams against Hansen. You see why Hansen pulls away to jump against Key rather than the Swansea City skipper, who's been dominant so far. 1-0 his side lead.
And with Key, I said it earlier, I think he goes for headers possibly that he doesn't need to go for. I think, you know, he goes to try to win the ball ahead of the striker. You have to keep our eye on him there, because at the moment Ashley Williams will have to keep talking to him, have to make sure that, you know, he doesn't get too impulsive to try to win that ball in front of the striker and lose his position.
It's still 1-0. Nathan Dyer, who also scored in that 3-1 win at Anfield when Swansea City knocked out the holders. And they could become holders themselves this afternoon. Ball played forward for Rangel again. He's strong enough to win it in the penalty area. There's a bit of grappling between him and Curtis Good, and the decision goes against Rangel. It's a free kick, Bradford City.
Yeah, free kick. I think it's unfortunate the ball was spinning quite nastily when he was trying to get control of the ball there, Rangel. But again, great play from Hernandez. Just pinged the ball from left centre midfield out to the right for Rangel, who's hugging this touchline on this near side of the field. Offside
Linesman's flag up on the far side. Hansen must have come back from an awful long way to be offside to reach that ball. But the eagle-eyed assistant on that far side foiled Bradford as they look to hit back. 27 minutes gone, 1-0 to Swansea City. Nathan Dyer the goal scorer. Capital One Cup final, Swansea City looking to push through the gate and go into Europe next season in the Europa League. And what an achievement that would be for this fledgling Premiership club. Just their second year in the top flight, but it's all part of an absolutely astonishing story. You've heard it all before, of course. 10 years ago on the brink of going out the Football League against Hull City. Leon Britton has seen it all, with a little break for a time at Sheffield United. But he's part of this team now who have one hand on the cup. They lead 1-0 against Bradford, and they're just passing the ball around this giant Wembley pitch here, Walsh.
Yeah, they are. And, you know, again, there's not much effort to see the ball go forward. You know, and arguably it is up to Bradford to come and get the ball. But, you know, we're talking 29th minute of this match. It's 1-0. And from the goal, the game has settled. You know, there has become a lull, and I think that will benefit Bradford. There's a chance here.
Great work by Michu. Dyer slides it into the penalty area. I think he was trying to pick out Hernandez. Michu just made a block then, chased the ball down, fed it inside. But the pass into the box is overhit by Nathan Dyer. Big clearance by Duke, looking for Hansen. Hansen gets the flick on. Naki Wells is not too far away from Hansen when he's going up for the ball. You can see what they're trying to do. But it's with Williams, who's seen an awful lot of the ball in this opening 29 minutes.
Yeah, well, the back players of Swansea have had plenty of touches on the ball.
It was a quick ball through by Hernandez, almost found Routledge. It was blocked by Good, but Routledge just picked it up. Little trick, cools the ball into the penalty area, and not one other white shirt was in the penalty box.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, really. I think you could complain at Routledge and say, well, take your time, son, because there's nobody in the box, get your head up. But at the same time, as a wide player, you know, if you get the ball in the box, you expect your striker to be in there and one other, possibly the other wide player getting in at the far post. So, but I suppose from both parties, they'll look at each other and say you're both wrong.
Dyer now switches to the left, knocks the ball against Derby, out for another corner, is it? Yes, it is, says referee Kevin Friend. Swansea City's third corner, first one from the left-hand side, the far side, with Swansea City playing from left to right.
Yeah, and I think that there was the right full-back, I think it was Steve Darby, looked at Dyer there and he said, Dyer, Nathan, it came off you who went out for a goal kick. Well, I don't think he's going to say, yeah, you have it.
No. The Guzman with the corner, in swinger this time. Key trying to get there, headed away. Liam Britton drives it. I think it was always curling wide. That would have been a collector's item, wouldn't it? Leon Britton scoring from 25 yards.
Well, I tell you, you don't see Leon hit the ball like, you know, when he first came to Swansea City, he was this little wide right player and he used to get involved and lots of shots, lots of crosses, used to dribble past people. But of course now in that sitting role in deep lying midfield, he doesn't get the opportunity to hit the ball from time to time. But he did score a very important goal, I think, was it in the playoffs?
Nottingham Forest, yeah. Playoff semi-final 2011. That was his last goal for Swansea City.
And it was his swinger, I think. He came in on his left side. Great strike, but yeah, Leon's game has matured, let's say. As he's got older, his game has matured, and he is now one fine holding midfield player, that's for sure. Absolutely
fantastic player. Key holds the ball, brings it up to halfway. The Guzman drops into the hole left by Ki Sung Young, who won the Korean League Cup with FC Seoul, but he was part of a League Cup upset last season, losing with Celtic to Kilmarnock. in Scotland. Oh, Swansea have worked this really well. Down the middle, Dyer tries to scamper through, and it's McHugh gets there, the Irishman.
Brilliant movement again, though, but just the wrong choice.
Hernandez now in from the left-hand side. Dyer almost picked out Hernandez again. Jones will try to lead the counter-attack, but Britain will get there first with a bit of help from Dyer, who got in Jones's way. Ended up on the deck, but he did the job. He wasn't going to get a free kick for that. It's taken a bit of time to get up, actually. Nathan Dyer, the Swansea goal scorer. Routledge plays it out to the left-hand side. Davis can cross. Michu waits. Didn't find Michu. Headed away by McHugh, the Irishman, from Donegal. He only asked for 111 tickets, did Carl McHugh, for his friends and family in Ireland. Apparently got them all.
Yeah, no, fantastic, well done.
Ball chipped into the Bradford box again, headed out once more, and then a cool work by Nathan Doyle heads it back to goalkeeper Matt Duke. Still 1-0, we played nearly 33 minutes.
It was a cool header from Doyle. That could have quite easily gone wrong, but he had enough power and timing in the header to make sure he found his goalkeeper. Still very much of a muchness now over the last 5 minutes. Swansea trying to prod and probe in that final third. Bradford making it very difficult to get the space. A couple of selection problems from the passes. Routledge on a couple of occasions. One when the ball went in the box and there was nobody there, and on the second one when he was found by Hernandez on the half turn 30 yards out, Nathan Dyer made a run to the right, but Routledge played the ball into the left channel. So just in that final third, but as you can say, pretty comfortable at the moment with Swansea. Seen so much of the ball. The statisticians amongst everybody today will have a field day in terms of possession and percentage of possession for Swansea City today.
Yeah,
I think it might break all world records.
We'll keep our monitor, keep looking at the monitor at half-time. I'm sure they will show a possession graph, and it won't look favourably on Bradford City, certainly possession-wise. But of course they are their first fourth tier side to reach this final in 51 years. Rochdale were the other team, the last team in 1962, when you were just a boy, Ian Walsh.
Thanks for that.
Well, teenager then. It's 1-0 to Swansea City. As Michu, little back heel, trying to into the path of Hernandez. Hernandez got there. Dyer tries to feed Michu in the box. They really do come alive on the edge of that penalty area, Swansea City, and particularly when the Spaniards combine with each other.
Well, you're absolutely right, Rob. I think it is the Spaniards. Sometimes you don't know exactly what you get from Routledge and Dyer, but with the Spanish lads, they let the ball do the work, and it really is pleasing, as I said earlier, on the eye. But there's so much pace, though. Routledge, Dyer, and he's no slouch. Michu when he gets going.
He's like a panther, isn't he? He just strikes.
Yeah.
Here he goes again, making the run, but again, McArdle, who's had a wow of a game so far in the opening 35 minutes, even though Bradford trail 1-0. He's been quite impressive with his interceptions, Rory McArdle. Almost commentators curse them because he poor back pass to Matt Duke, which Michu almost charged down. But Bradford have possession, rare in the last few minutes, with their captain Jones. Back pass again. Somebody was concerned behind us.
Yes, I know, that was me.
Was that you?
Well, I saw Michu there.
Oh, right.
I don't think he saw the back pass, but Michu was good. Looked for a second there. If he was a little bit sharper, would have been in.
Ball forward to the edge of the Swansea box. Rangel chests it down. Tremmel, who's been a spectator really, not had a serious save to make. The German, who's been in the League Cup campaign from the very start. Started with a 3-1 win over Crawley, and from Little Acorns has grown this. We'll get back to Leighton James in as soon as the ball goes out again. Could be another 10 minutes the way Swansea City play. They lead 1-0 though. And for once, fairly aimless ball forward. That time from Ben Davis down the left-hand side. Looked up, nobody made the run. So it always looks worse for the player who played it, rather than one who might have received. McArdle in possession, strokes it down the middle, gets it back, edge of the D of his own penalty area, chips it forward, looking for Hansen. Hansen, good header inside, but brilliant anticipation by Leon Britton to get there ahead of Will Atkinson. Then Rangel gets in a bit of a mess, so plays it back to Tremmel. Tremmel clears right-footed, hoists it into the Bradford half, chested down by McHugh, the Irish under-21 player. McArdle again, curls it forward, half stopped by Hernandez, laid back to Stephen Darby, the Bradford right-back, and they're finding it very difficult to make any headway into the Swansea half, are the League Two side who trail 1-0.
Yeah, it's really difficult for them. You know, obviously they're not players capable of keeping control of the ball and trying to pass their way forward. So, you know, they just have to make do. You know, this is still only 1-0.
It is.
I would say Parkinson, the manager, if it stays like this up until half-time, he will be quite pleased because of the amount of possession. That possession really has counted, yes, in one goal.
Now, Ki Sung-young got away with one just a few seconds ago, at least the Bradford fans thought, but he went into the back of Naki Wells then, and that is a free kick. And Ki Sung-young has been booked after 38 minutes.
He's been booked, and it was a stupid challenge. The player's going nowhere, so he's got to be careful now, Ki, that he goes in, and he goes into the back of the striker, and it's a definite foul.
Now, more interesting, it's a Bradford City free kick. Jones chips it to the edge of the box. It's headed back inside. It wasn't towards Hansen. He was waiting for the second ball. Comes back into the Bradford half. They lay it back to Matt Duke, which means they have to come back upfield. But Duke will hammer it long again. Out to the right-hand side, looking for Thompson. Thompson wins the header. Ki Sung-young gets there, but it's picked up by Gary Jones, just inside the midway inside the Swansea half. Now Swansea have it back, and their goal scorer Nathan Dyer is making a little sign for everyone to calm down as he picks up the ball on the right touchline and lays it all the way back to Gerhard Tremmel. Swansea start again. They've weathered hardly a storm. Leighton James, 7 minutes to half time. How do you think things are going with Swansea leading 1-0? Yes, they've got to get to that compromising position, haven't they, and to get a free kick.
They have, and I agree with that. The second goal is always a crucial goal, especially with teams like this, one so dominant. But, you know, the skeptics amongst us, me, you know, is that this 1-0, since that goal, I don't think Swansea have had another reasonable chance from that. And the goal, as Leighton said earlier, the keeper could have done a lot better with it. So possession, yes, is important, but you have to have an end product. And while it's 1-0, that's all I'm saying, it'll keep Bradford motivated. If it's 2-0, they might tend to go into their shells. If it's 2-0, they have to come out more, and that's where Swansea can really hurt you.
The goal was a Nathan Dyer tap-in. Oh, lovely ball, thread through to Michu into the penalty area, shoot! 2-0! Michu! You just knew when it fell to him, he would not miss. He's buried it into the bottom corner. He does what he does best. Who could foil Michu at Wembley? Not Bradford City. Swansea City have one hand on the trophy. Bradford 0, Swansea City 2.
Well, this is just an unbelievable finish. He takes very little backlift, and that's where it surprised the keeper. Again, not getting tight to meet you on the edge of the box. They let him turn, and then within a fraction of a second, he's hit the ball across the face of goal and into the bottom corner. It's a wonderful ball again. It's the two Spaniards, Hernandez into Michu, and then Michu through the legs of the defender, but there's very little backlift, and that surprises the goalkeeper, and it's ended up in the back of the net. Brilliant.
I don't want to tempt fate, but just check your passports, ready for the summer and a European campaign. A long way to go, but I'm sure Leighton James will agree with me when we get back to him that it would take something unbelievably spectacular for Bradford City to come back from this. They're trailing 2-0 and we've not yet got to half-time. They're trying to do just that, but Ben Davies intercepts. Michu's 19th goal of the season. He's just been an unstoppable marksman in those positions. We said he's like a panther, he just strikes. He hasn't done a great deal, he's made some runs, they haven't yet found him. But the first time in a goal-scoring position, and his finish was clinical.
Well, it was clinical, and just like the shot for the first goal.
Ball through the middle, Dyer around the keeper. Dyer, oh, he's just taking it too wide. Matt Duke has got back. He lays it back to Michu. This time he didn't shoot, he tried to lay it back to Routledge. It scrambled away. Rangel shoots from outside the penalty area. Bradford are on all sorts of 6 and 7. Suddenly, with 3 minutes to half time, they can't wait for that referee's whistle.
Well, they can't, and then of course 2-0 now. The game will open up a lot more because Bradford have to offer something a bit more going forward. Will leave a few more spaces at the back. But no, going back to Michu, Michu was obviously heavily involved in the first goal with the shot that the keeper parried, because that was a decent hit with a lot of pace. And then secondly, that finish is a top quality striker's finish when you have the ability to see the space.
Here we go again, this time it's Routledge, and it's palmed away by Duke for a corner. Routledge from an acute angle suddenly got in and the left-hand side of the Bradford defence. Shot first time, rising drive, and Duke has pushed it over, and really, they're really under pressure now. Swansea turning the screw.
Yeah, again, another ball that's slipped between the two central defenders and the full-back and Routledge. That nice change of play from the short passing, square passing game of Swansea to that very definite ball through to cut the ribbons out of...
To Guzman with a corner. And it flicked off the top of the head. Falls for Hernandez outside the penalty area, and this time Duke saves. And
it was Ashley Williams, Rob, who just Hernandez just shifting onto his right-hand side and then making the keeper. But it was Ashley Williams, the central defender. He should have been a striker following in, but there he was, looking to pick up the pieces.
Just getting to half-time, a minute and a half to half-time in the Capital One Trophy final, and Swansea City are in sight of their first major domestic title, because they lead Bradford City of League Two by 2-0. And really, if the Bantams come back from this, well, they really will deserve to be cup winners.
Yeah, I think, without being disrespectful to Bradford, there is a massive gulf between these two teams, and goals were going to be the crucial element to it. And because Swansea have got the first 2 goals, you can't see Bradford getting anything actually today. But and that's not being disrespectful for them. They've done ever so well to get here.
Last meeting between these two sides finished 2-2. Can't see that now. Here's Hernandez going down the middle, just a touch behind his Spanish counterpart Michu. Back to Hernandez again. 12 yards from the penalty. It kills a lovely ball under Dyer. This time Dyer can't control it first time. Rangel picks up. Little back heel to Dyer. Don't want to get too cocky now. Cleared away by the Bradford defence. Hansen heads it on, but he's all by himself. Naki Wells was back in the midfield area.
You see what, sorry to interrupt you quickly, about what Ashley Williams did there as a tried and tested central defender. He knew, because Hansen had no support, that he didn't have to go and challenge for that ball. He just dropped off, let Hansen win it, and then played it back simply to the goalkeeper.
If you're a Swansea City fan listening to this, you'll be happy at the moment. Your side is leading by 2-0. Just 1 minute of added time to play. Yes, Reading came back in the second half of the Championship playoff final, but surely this is beyond the reach of the plucky Bantams, you would think. Taking nothing for granted still.
Yeah,
not there yet, but it's looking really, really good.
Yeah, it's looking fantastic. I don't think you could have been in a better position. 2 goals to the good. Possession, okay, as I said earlier, is very important, but the goals are the most important thing. And Swansea now will just keep passing the ball and wait for Bradford to come back at them. If they can, leave a few spaces at the back. And that's where, again, Swansea are one of the most dangerous teams.
Lovely
in the
ball
Premier
out
League.
to the left-hand side. Davis chests it down. That might just be it for referee Kevin Friend. Will Matt Duke get time to take the goal kick? He doesn't. It's been another dominant first half at Wembley by Swansea City. They took a grip on the game against Reading in the Championship playoff final. They've taken a firmer hold on this one with goals from Nathan Dyer and who else? Inevitably Michu. And really it's difficult to see Bradford City coming back from this. Swansea City in total control at half-time. They are within sight of their first major trophy. Half-time at Wembley. Swansea City 2, Bradford City 0. And it looks like Bradford City are ready to make one change. It seems as Andrew Davis, former Stoke City player, is all lined up on the side, limbering up, ready to enter the fray. What a Herculean task they face. He's going to replace Curtis Good, the Australian, who's played left back for Bradford. I wonder whether that means, yeah, it does look as if Andrew Davis will move inside now, and maybe Carl McHugh will go out to the left-hand side. Fair head, Andrew Davis scored one of the goals against Aston Villa in the semi-final. Swansea City are 45 minutes away from a return to European football and collecting their first major trophy for the Liberty Stadium mantelpiece. And Bradford City in their amber and maroon hoops are playing towards their own fans who are still full of it. They went very quiet in that first half, where their side didn't have a shot on goal, didn't have a corner, actually didn't give away a free kick either, which is valiant in some ways.
Maybe something from this long throw though.
It's Derby with the long throw. Ashley Williams rises high and the flag is up, and it'll be a Swansea free kick, and that is the first time Swansea won a free kick in this game, and we're in the first minute of the second half, and the Swans leading 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0. Do you know what really surprises me on an occasion like this, where sometimes fans will never ever get back to see this again, and yeah, how slow it takes for people to get back in their seats at the start of the second half. I know it might be a little bit difficult to get a drink or something to eat, but there's still a lot of empty seats there, and we've already a couple of minutes in the second half.
Well, as the Coventry fan who rang in for the phone in midweek, thinking it was 0-0 when his side had won 2-0 with 2 goals in the last 2 minutes, will tell you, you don't want to miss anything in this game. What you've missed in the first half is an absolutely dominant Swansea City display, capped by goals from Nathan Dyer and Michu. 19th for him, 5th for Dyer this season. Bradford playing from left to right, maroon and amber hoops, black shorts. Swansea City in their all-white strip. And this is Doyle, one of their more impressive players. Tries to slide it through, but Key comes out of the defence, does the Korean, for Swansea City. To the first goal scorer, Dyer. Makes good pace down that right-hand side, slides it through to Michu. Little miss by Michu. Dyer again into the penalty area. 3-0! Dyer has netted a second, and the oh-so-cool Laudrup punches the air in delight. Swansea City are surely there now. It's Swansea City 3, Bradford City 0. It's 2 for Dyer. It's ecstasy for Michael Laudrup. Suddenly the Coulvernil went, and he surely knows his side have won the Capital One trophy.
Well, I think that's the top of professionalism of the man. I think, like everybody else, that 2-0, as much dominance and as much play and as much quality that Swansea have shown today, that Laudrup knew that that third goal was the crucial goal, and he just turned, jumped, ran back to his coaching staff. But going back to the goal, a great build-up, some great play from Dyer. Thoroughly deserved to get himself his second goal. He's played a little 1-2. There was a dummy, I think either Routledge or Hernandez has set the ball back in the box, and he's just opened his body up on his left foot, and it's in the roof of the net. Great finish.
It could be a rout now. It's 3-0, and we're only 3 minutes into the second half, and Swansea City are really dominant here at Wembley Stadium. Hernandez, who's been the pick of the bunch really, to Michu. Michu gets to the byline, lays it back. Davis crosses from the left-hand side, overhits the cross, headed away, but inevitably picked up by a white shirt. De Guzman that time. Hernandez, oh, what a ball with the outside of his foot. Out to Routledge, left-hand side, level with the penalty spot. Little run by Hernandez into the box. Routledge holds it up, then decides to go inside the defender. Curls it. Michu for the far post, beaten to it. Gary Jones, the former Swansea player, tries to clear. Naki Wells is battling for it. Swansea are back on their own halfway line. Ashley Williams lays it back to Gerhard Tremmel. Get a word from Leighton James as soon as we can. Leighton James, this is surely, it's easy street now for Swansea City.
Yeah, absolutely, I think. And let's be a bit kind to Bradford City here. If it's going to be a win, let it be 3-0. You know what I mean? Because this could be 5 or 6. If the Swansea players really want to go for this, they could put 5 or 6 on Bradford this afternoon.
I'm not sure Leighton James will totally agree with that. But it is 3-0.
He's got a heart, Leighton. You know, we know he's got a heart. I think he understands what I'm saying.
It's 3-0 to Swansea City, and it's going to be an awful long 41 minutes for the League Two side. I haven't even had a chance to give you the teams in this second half. Swansea unchanged: Tremmel, Rangel, Key, Williams, Davis. Britain, 2-goal Nathan Dyer, doubled his tally, added 2 to the 4-yard already. De Guzman, Routledge, Hernandez and Michu. You can't keep him out of the headlines. On the bench, Vaughan, Monk, Tiendali, Schechter, Augustin Lamar and Moore. And Bradford City have Matt Duke in goal, Derby, McArdle, McHugh and now Davis on for good at half-time. Thompson, Jones, Doyle and Atkinson up front, Hansen and Naki Wells. But they won't have had many quieter games than this because they've been starved of meaningful possession, have the Bradford City front two. And as much as we say Bradford haven't given away free kicks, only the one, Swansea City have been really clever about not giving away free kicks either, as Routledge bursts down the middle. Routledge picks up a loose ball, heads out left, has Hernandez on the outside. He chipped it into the 6-yard box and it was collected by Duke. Let's go to Gareth Blaney on the touchline. Gareth, I don't think you've seen Michael Laudrup celebrate like he did after that third goal. Could be a lap of honour maybe for Gary Monk.
Well, when you look at the situation, you know, again, with his total professional hat on, you want these players to finish the game, but it's an opportunity now. Big game coming up at the weekend against Newcastle. You know, the Premier League obviously vitally important to keep the momentum going. You know, he might decide to, and I'm sure he will, decide to change the 3 opportunities that he has as substitutes before the end of the game.
Here's Dyer looking to emulate his old partner Scott Sinclair. Hat-trick in the Championship final. Can Nathan Dyer make it a hat-trick in the Capital One Trophy final? Davis, who's hardly been troubled. Key, who's looked calm at the back. Britton, who's always calm. On the ball now, just prodding and probing. Out to Hernandez, who's been a joy on this Wembley pitch. Routledge again. Routledge attacks into the penalty area, onto his right foot, then onto his left. Chance to cross. Just in front of Michu. He actually stopped then, did Michu, on the edge of the 6-yard box. Laid back for Rangel. First time ball, Rangel. Back heel from Hernandez. Almost found his fellow countryman. Comes to De Guzman. They're absolutely dominant, Swansea City. They're leading by 3-0 on Radio Well Sport. 8 minutes into the second half. There's an awful long time for this Bradford City defence to hold on again. Hernandez, box of tricks in the box. Cross on the right-hand side. Michu was waiting, stabbed away by a Bradford defender. And they pick up the second and third ball. And they can release the pressure just momentarily as Davis gets in the way of a through ball. And he's penalised a little harshly for handball.
Well, it's popped up against his arm. I think possibly the ref could have played advantage because Gary Thompson had picked up possession out on this right-hand side. But it just goes to show, with young Ben Davies, a player beyond his years, still arguing, still disagreeing, 3-0 up, cruising, but still wanting to do the job, still wanting to be professional.
Free kick. They said this is the big danger into the Swans penalty area. Ashley Williams rises high. Bradford pick up the second ball that time through Will Atkinson, and they win a throw-in. Listen to a cheer for a throw-in from the Bradford fans.
Yeah, well, that's right. It's an opportunity, I suppose. Yeah, I thought it took a little while for Nathan Doyle, who's going to go over there to put the ball into the near post to big James Hansen.
Come on City is the chant from the waving maroon and amber flags. Doyle launches it into the penalty area, straight into the hands of Gerhard Tremmel. Yeah, he's probably grateful for something to do.
Yeah, a bit of adrenaline from the throw in there, really, just put too much on it.
Here comes Swansea again. Routledge and Dyer making progress down the right-hand side. Hernandez, first time touch to Routledge. Routledge, 5 yards from the byline, into the penalty area, right-hand side. Hernandez wants it inside. He gets it just on the edge of the corner of the penalty area. Routledge again, crosses from the right. Probed away by Andrew Davis, the substitute. Britton steamed in, couldn't control it, but Swans win it back with Davis. Back to Britton again. Radio Well Sport, 10 minutes gone in the second half of the Capital One Trophy final. And it's easy for Swansea City. They lead by 3-0. 2 goals from Nathan Dyer, 1 from the marksman Michu, his 19th of the campaign.
Yeah, De Guzman. They put it on a show now. I tell you, Routledge showing some tricks.
Dyer, Michu, it's mesmerising stuff sometimes. They move it really quickly when they're getting that final third of the Bradford half. Touch on Hernandez, through to Michu, back inside. Oh, De Guzman is brought down. Penalty surely by Duke. Yeah. The ball rolls past the post. It's a chance for 4. Who will take it? It's got to be Nathan Dyer, hasn't it? Well, oh no, hang on, it's not.
No,
yes, it is.
He sent the player off,
it's,
I think.
Matt Duke has been sent off, is he? It is. It's a red card for Duke, the goalkeeper.
That's. I feel that's a bit harsh. Letter of the law and all that. But before that, what a move! What an outstanding, unbelievable move from Swansea City there. The way they kept the ball. Michu came out of that leading line of the striker. He came deep, he played a little 1-2, and then he just played a delightfully paced ball across the face of goal, and there was De Guzman. Now then, this is interesting.
Swansea's first penalty this season. It looks to me as if De Guzman and Dyer are arguing about who should take it. Dyer wants to take it. De Guzman has the ball. Meanwhile, Matt Duke makes the shameful walk off. Oh, look, it's a shame for him, really.
They're arguing that De Guzman. Oh, it's a shame for the keeper, without a shadow of doubt.
And they are arguing it.
The captain has got to go up, Ashley Williams,
and Ashley Williams
sort out De Guzman and Nathan Dyer. There's one person taking it. They shouldn't be seen to be arguing over it. That's not good enough. Ashley Williams, sort it out.
John McLaughlin is on. They're still arguing with it. De Guzman has the ball. Dyer is trying to take it off him. Michu has got involved as well. He's just trying to push Dyer away, I think. Keep him away from De Guzman. It looks like Jonathan De Guzman is going to take this penalty. Michael Laudrup can do nothing about this. He's watching from a distance. I don't think Nathan Dyer's happy. He's walked off. He's not in a good mood at all.
Yeah, but
he wants a hat-trick, but De Guzman is going to take this penalty. Oh, and there's a little gesture. It's Naki Wells, meanwhile, has made way for John McLaughlin.
This could be the best day in the boy's life, Nathan Dyer, and it's turning out it could be his worst day. He's going on and he's having a go at the manager, he's having a go at the rest of the players. It's not good enough, that's not on. And, the more experienced places like Ashley Williams has got to go up and sort this out. De Guzman's going to take it because he is most probably the penalty taker. And
well, they haven't had one this season.
They're not going to stray from that, and that's fair enough.
So Jonathan de Guzman to make it 4-0 to Swansea City. They're in absolute command of this tie. So de Guzman, the Dutchman, up against the substitute McLaughlin. De Guzman hits it, scores for Swansea City. 4-0 it is. Jonathan de Guzman waves to the Swans fans. It's even more comfortable for the Swans now. It's a joyous occasion at Wembley. It's Swansea City 4, Bradford City 0, and the Bantams are down to 10 men with over half an hour still left to play, and Nathan Dyer comes across to congratulate de Guzman.
Yeah, he's come across and he's obviously saw the red mist there for a minute, Nathan Dyer. But, you know, this is a wonderful occasion for him as a player. He scored 2 goals. He wanted to get his hat-trick. You know, the red mist came, and now I think there's talk of a substitution down on the sidelines. Now, I just hope.
This is Dyer. They get a chance of a hat-trick yet. Dyer lays it across the Rowlett. This is going to be a long half an hour for Bradford. They've been absolutely taken apart by a rampant Swansea City, clinical Swansea City. They haven't missed many chances today of the Swans as they play the ball out to the left-hand side. Davis, who's hardly been back in his own half. This is Hernandez, who's pulled all the strings into Key in the centre circle. Michu drops deep. 4-0 the Swans lead, and now it's against 10 men. Naki Wells made way for the substitution to bring McLaughlin on after Matt Duke was sent off. McLaughlin has played in this campaign for Bradford, played in their win against Watford in the second round. 4-0, start the party, start the car, frankly. Michu wins the ball on the edge of the box. He wants a second goal. Back heel, Michu puts it just wide, almost the first chance they've missed.
He's just unbelievable, a kid, Michu. What a fantastic 1-2 with Nathan Dyer, and the timing of his strike through the ball was wonderful. Misses the upright by a fraction of an inch down to the low corner. Just a fantastic 1-2 with Nathan Dyer, and he's just got this unbelievable knack, Michu, of shooting quickly, and even he shoots between the defenders' legs at times, and that surprises them more than anything.
Leighton James, about time you had a few words on this. Swansea City leading by 4 goals to 0 against 10 men. Hernandez robbed by Derby in the penalty area. Who knows where this could finish now, Ian Walsh? Swansea against 10 men.
That's what I said at half-time, that this could be the difference. Gary Monk is going to come on now, and I would imagine it would be a straightforward move for Key if at all. I just hope that he doesn't bring Nathan Dyer off. I hope Michael Laudrup sees it as a bit of red mist that came over him for a fraction of a second. And you know, he doesn't substitute him or teach him a lesson, maybe. But Swansea on the attack again now against 10 men. Well,
and then in behind on the right-hand side, Dyer was waiting for Rangel to deliver. The cross didn't arrive. The last team to score 4 goals in a Capital One Cup final was Manchester United in 2006 against Wigan. Let's go to Gareth Blaney pitchside. Yeah, letter of the law, he did bring de Guzman down when he was past him and in the 6-yard box.
Yeah, I just sometimes wonder, you take it out of it a little bit of, the referee just to say, OK, look, guys, it's 4-0. You know, why do you have to send him off? But as Leighton says, you know, the letter of the law is that if you're the last one, you pull him down, then you've got to go.
Well, at least Matu can't hammer himself. Oh, it was almost a ball through by Hernandez, which would have almost defied all logic. But it's the 10 men. Keep calling them plucky. They've not given up, Bradford. This is Hansen on the left-hand side. Attacks Gary Monk. So we've got the Swansea team captain and the club captain on. What they were saying in the week is that they decided a couple of rounds ago that if they got there, they'd share the trophy lifting at the final whistle. Well, surely nothing can deny them now. Ashley Williams and Gary Monk. I think they can change those ribbons just to white now, can't they?
Well, I think so. And, you know, they were talking that the two players, the club captain and the skipper of the team, would go up their chance.
Here comes Michu.
Oh,
to Dyer. They obviously want him to get his hat-trick. It was Derby who intervened that time.
Oh, unbelievable.
And McLaughlin almost picked it up and then thought better of it.
And I think even Leon Britton's blood pressure's raising a bit because he's getting up front as well, looking to get a goal. But no, definitely looking for Nathan Dyer to get his hat-trick.
Well, Manchester United scored 4 in 2006. West Bromwich Albion in 1966 did get 4 against West Ham, but that was over a two-legged 5-3 aggregate win over West Ham. So Swansea City are writing themselves into the history books. The story just gets better and better.
Well, it's just
phenomenal.
Yeah, you know, and all the sort of anticipation before the game and the standard of the two teams and the massive achievement, it has to be said, of Bradford to get to this final has been huge.
This is Routledge in behind the 10 men again, cross, and McLaughlin had to collect it, and he did.
Yeah, no, it is, so you can't take that away from it, but again, Swansea have come here and delivered. People talking about the Liverpool result, and would that knock their confidence? Not this Swansea City side. They just keep getting better and better, and they've done the simple things very easily. You look at Hernandez, I don't think he's run more than 5 yards whenever he's got the ball. He's just used the ball to his advantage. He's waited for the run from one of his teammates and he's just put the ball on a sixpence into great positions. You haven't seen him run or take a player on today, Hernandez, a little tricky wide player. He's just used his intelligence, his movement, his creativity to spark off this Swansea performance.
Yeah, he's almost worth watching by himself, isn't he? He's a fantastic player. European experience, well, he'll be part of Swansea City's European adventure next season. Outside of the right foot, chips it out to Ben Davis on the left-hand side, then makes the run forward. Michu, though, ignores his Spanish counterpart, plays it back to Routledge, midway inside the Bradford half. Swansea playing from right to left, and our eyes are looking left all the time because Michu has found Rangel on the overlap. Rangel gets it back to Michu, and two players block the attempted dink in by Michu from 7 yards. Gary Jones, the former Swansea player, gets a burst of speed up to break up to halfway, but they're going to have to go back. They're going to hit it long, and Ashley Williams gets behind it, heads it down, picked up by Doyle to Gary Thompson, but it's so commanding by Swansea City on Radio Well Sport. 4-0.
I don't think Gary Monk has touched the ball. Oh, is he going to get a touch? Yeah, he's got his touch. Gary touching a major cup final. Who'd have thought that? Would he have thought that a few seasons ago? You know, he's been at Swansea for a while now, and he's come through the tough times and all through the promotions and the success. Been a true professional. You know, with managers that have come in maybe thinking of changing the central defensive formation, but Routledge. Gary Monk has stood there and he's been very, very professional in the outcome of his career. You know, I think he's another Swansea player that will go down in that legendary status.
Gary Monk a few years ago, would he have worn lime green boots like the ones he's got on now? They Wembley boots, do you reckon?
Well, any central defender wouldn't have worn lime green boots unless the strikers would have given them so much stick, but that's the way of the world these days.
Not in your day, no. Jones for Bradford, out to the left-hand side. Is there a consolation in this as we go to the last quarter of what's probably been the most one-sided final since Manchester United 7 years ago against Wigan when they won 4-0? Britain on the counter though. Bradford not happy they didn't get the throw-in decision. Davis, the substitute. He'll say, well, you were 3-0 down when I came on. Sorry, 2-0 down. So no, he's seen 2 goals going as well. There's been nothing they can do. It's not as if Bradford have not tried or not given everything. They've just been outclassed.
Yeah, outclassed. And you know, I did say before the game that I think their achievement was beating Aston Villa home and away. Whether they could duplicate that was going to be a tough ask.
Here comes Michu, wide to Rangel. Rangel the outlet every time. Dyer on the ball again. He's got 2 goals. He wanted a hat-trick from the penalty spot. De Guzman tucked it in. Michu got the other. One-touch football, all in the Bradford half. Hernandez, Britain, central field. Little 1-2 with Hernandez. Oh, breaks through 2 tackles. Just tackled as he got the 6-yard box. Rangel picks it up on the right-hand side. Hernandez hungry for work, turns. Oh, nutmeg onto his left foot, back on his right foot. Hernandez cross-blocked for a corner.
Unbelievable skill. Tricky, cheeky, call it what you want. He just nutmegged the left full-back, and I think the young left full-back has gone out into the ground. He's been thrown that many dummies, but here he is again.
Chipped into the box. Is it 5? It's almost 5. Ashley Williams almost got in on it. And McLaughlin smothered it on the line. I don't know whether he got a header or just it was a knee. And McLaughlin saved it on his line.
Well, that would have gone down in history again. Ashley Williams, big central defender, magnificent defender, pops up in a cup final and scores a goal. It's one to tell your kids and your grandkids.
Got to give it to the Bradford fans, Ian. The noise we can hear and we can see thousands of Bradford flags and banners being waved.
Yeah, no, fantastic. It's been let's not forget where Bradford have come from, to keep reminding people the 4th tier of the English game, and to be in a major cup final is an unbelievable achievement. So they should enjoy it. They should come here and enjoy it. I think 99.9% realised and understood what the result could be, and they're sticking by their team through thick and thin. It's a great day out for them. You know, the atmosphere between the 2 sets of fans has been magnificent, and you know, they are sticking behind their team right to the 90th minute.
And their side are losing 4-0, and hymns and arias rings out around Wembley. It'll be music to the ears of these Swansea City players who just make this story never-ending. 10 years ago, on the brink of going out of the Football League, Roberto Martinez changed the philosophy of the whole club. Paulo Sousa added defensive stability. Brendan Rodgers led them to the promised land. Michael Laudrup's leading them into Europe.
Yeah, and you know, he's very highly thought of and talked about, you know, through the game. Talking to Paul Jewell earlier, you know, and Laudrup says it as he sees it, doesn't he? You know, he doesn't hide anything. You know, he's not one of these, as a manager, that says, oh, I didn't see that decision, it should have been a penalty, this or that. Rangel
tries to break through on the right-hand side. Dyer is still busy trying to win it. It's a corner kick to Swansea City. Well, yeah, Laudrup says it as he sees it in Danish, English, Spanish,
German.
Yeah, that's the one language he balked at in the week.
We've got it.
He could do Italian as well.
Welsh
yeah, that's right.
One.
Dyer shoots, blocked. He's desperate for the hat-trick, Nathan Dyer.
Yeah.
And it's still with Swansea City on that right-hand side. The noise you can still hear of the Bradford fans making the most of the last 18 minutes. Hernandez chips the ball into the middle, comes out and Dyer blasts it over the bar.
Yeah, he's desperately trying for that hat-trick. You know, those times don't, you know, scoring 2 goals is a major achievement, but scoring 3 goals in a cup final, you know, that's an opportunity that doesn't come along too often. And you can see why he got frustrated with the penalty decision. But
he's not going to pass, is he?
No, he's not going to pass now.
I mean, De Guzman wouldn't pass him the ball for the penalty, and he's not going to pass to anybody else now, is he? When he's in shooting range. Another substitute in the offing for Bradford City. And This will be Zavon Hines, Zavon Hines, former West Ham player, and he's replacing Gary Thompson. He is a wide player. Gary Thompson, who scored against Watford, scored one against Arsenal as well. And Zavon Hines has real pace, and he's coming on for the last 17 minutes of a very one-sided Wembley Cup final. 4-0 to Swans.
Yeah, sorry, Michael Laudrup has just come to the coaching staff again to see, is he looking to maybe make a substitution? You know, we've still got 17 or so minutes left in this game.
We'll get a word with Leighton James. Not heard from him for a few minutes, but it's I feel I can speak to you freely now, Leighton, because I don't think anything's going to happen other than a Swansea goal. And as Michael Laudrup, should he be looking at another substitution late now? And is there any sort of sentiment in the Gary Monk appearance? Well, the Korean contingent in the media will be well happy that Ki Sung-young is going to be changed early. He almost brings his own press corps with him, does the South Korean Olympic player Ki Sung-young.
That was interesting. Ashley Williams even started to pass the ball inside the fullback. Usually he just gives it to the feet, keeps it simple. But of course the lads are playing with so much confidence now.
And Ashley Williams has been quietly firm, hasn't he, dealing with the big threat of Hansen up front for Bradford.
I thought his whole attitude was epitomised in the first half when he went through Naki Wells on that other side of the field, when the game was still quite tight, and he wasn't messing about. You know, he was putting the challenges in as if he was marking a Premiership striker. It didn't change, and I thought from that point on, you know, he is like that. Ashley Williams, you know exactly what you get from him.
4-0 Swansea City lead, chance again. Michu to Dyer on the edge of the penalty area. Blocks one challenge and then he loses possession.
I think Swansea's play, to a certain extent, and I'm being hypercritical here, is deteriorating when it gets to Nathan Dyer, because he's so keen to get his hat-trick after the little, you know, throwing his toys out of the pram earlier, that he's not appreciating other people around him like the likes of Michu or Hernandez would do in that position.
No, you're right. But it's human emotion, I suppose. Scott Sinclair did score a hat-trick here. He will always be remembered by Swansea City fans of that. Nathan Dyer has played his part. He's got 2 goals.
Well, that's a great achievement, you know. We've all been there, you know, got a couple of goals and the old big hook comes on to get you off as a substitute, and you feel as if, oh, another goal is a hat-trick. But, you know, the manager makes it for the right decision.
Hernandez, if anyone deserves a goal, shoots from the edge of the box. It's a block and it balloons over the bar for another Swansea City corner.
Yeah, it come off Andrew Davis. He was unfortunate there, Hernandez, because he struck it really nicely, and it's just come off the hip of Davis, who lunged towards the ball.
Nathan Dyer is making way. He's got 2 goals. It won't be a hat-trick, but Nathan Dyer, a little man, but he's played a really big part in Swansea City securing their first major silverware. Dyer applauds, gets the applause back, and Roland Lamar, the recent recruit, comes on. Big hug from Michael Laudrup for Nathan Dyer. Tap on the back too, and he doesn't look too sore.
No, I think there's a little sorry there, a little apologise from Dyer. But I think that's the reason he might have come off there, because he's trying to be a one-man band, and Swansea is completely opposite to their philosophy.
Here comes Swansea again. They're into the penalty area. Rowlett tries to bulldoze his way through.
They're all trying to score individually now.
Well, every Swansea player bar Tremmell, and I can remember that Bradford are down to 10 men. They're trailing 4-0. They're down to 10 men as well, with their first choice keeper sent off for bringing down De Guzman, who tucked away the penalty to make it 4. Every Swansea player bar Tremmell was at that moment inside the Bradford half.
Do you think it would be a brave move to be the next, bring an outfield player on for Tremmell?
Well, actually, I gather Leighton James has already said to Simon Davis that he would take Tremmell off. I wonder whether we could hear from Leighton now. That's shocking. You're going to interview him after the game then, Leighton. Mind you, at the moment he should be paying, because he's done nothing, has he, Tremmell? He's had to do nothing in this game. Could join us in the press box here. Yes. The big German has played his big part, and of course Michel Vorm has had to sit on the bench this season in the League Cup. In fact, Tremmell has played more appearances than Michel Vorm, although he is Michael Laudrup's #1, but Laudrup has rewarded Tremmell with a final appearance and a new contract as Swansea go around the outside again on the right hand side. Hernandez gets to the byline. Can he keep it in? He can. He dinked it back, and it's headed away for a corner by Davis.
It just shows what a quality player this Hernandez is. He had a slow start to his career at Swansea because I think he hadn't played much, his fitness, but he can dribble, he can take the sharpness in his feet there was fantastic to watch. And he's got the other side of the coin as well. He could just pass and move the ball and keep that continuity of that passing movement, and yeah, he's been absolutely stunning today.
He has. This time the corner from the right is played all the way back to De Guzman, who's just beyond the centre circle. Swansea City look to work their way through the middle again. Bradford staying all back, 10 men. Ashley Williams is out on the left wing. He's handled the ball, so he'll have to trundle back.
Yeah, he got himself a bit further forward. I think the flag went up actually for a handball from an offside decision from Ashley Williams. Yeah, they're bored now, the central defenders. They want to get forward.
Always a worry.
Yeah, and I hope that, you know, and if you're an avid Swansea City fan, they want it to be 5, 6, 7. But I think we have to be respectful of Bradford City here, and people might not agree with me for that, but I do feel that, you know, the credit is due to them as well for just being here. Well, I just hope that we're not being a little bit too...
Well, they've beaten Notts County, Watford, Burton Albion, Wigan Athletic, Arsenal, Aston Villa over 2 legs. But they've come across a form side in the Premier League, a top 10 outfit in the Premier League, and a side who can pass for fun. And if ever there was a stadium made for a side that passes the ball with purpose, I put the emphasis on that, it's this Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, another substitution happening here.
Dwight Tiendali, the Dutchman, who's played his part, played of course at Anfield when they knocked out the Holders. Gary Jones tries to barnstorm his way through for Bradford. Fans get excited, they're still waving their flags, the Bradford fans. I think the Swansea fans just keeping their voices for the final whistle. Yeah. It's inevitable now, we're into the last 9 minutes, it's 4-0 on Radio Well Sport.
You know, and Leon Britton gave the ball away. I'm absolutely astonished a few minutes ago. Get him off, I think Leon's going to come off.
We'll admonish him later.
He's given the ball away once in, how many minutes have we played?
Well,
81 minutes.
How many games this season?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's been unbelievable, Leon, in midfield. So Tiendali, I wonder if that's a Ben Davis or an Angel Rangel. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who that changes.
Ben Davis, well, what a season it's been for him. Those who worried about the left-back position with Neil Taylor injured, no need to worry. Step forward, Ben Davis.
All credit to these Bradford fans, Rob. They've, from the 70th minute onwards, they've just waved their flags non-stop.
Well, I suppose when you've been through a history of what their club has gone through, a 4-0 defeat at Wembley is nothing. The trip to Wembley is everything. Still 4-0. Dyer 2, Michu De Guzman from the penalty spot. 10 men against them now, Swansea City. They've worked their way into the penalty area again. This is Hernandez, right-hand side, little back heel for Routledge. Routledge onto his right foot, 2 yards in from the corner of the box. Michu touches it back out of Routledge again. One more, we're just finishing her off nicely for Swansea City. No disrespect to Bradford, they've done really well, but 5 would be sumptuous, wouldn't it?
Well, is there a record? Did you talk about a record?
Well, that was 4 Manchester United. They have had scores of 5, but they've been aggregate scores of 5 because it was a 2-legged final in the early days.
So one more goal could go down in the history books.
And even now, I don't know how good the internet, my internet has gone in this stadium, but even now I'm sure there are people looking at how much flights are to various places for the summer when they go into the Europa League, Swansea City. It's Ben Davies who's making way for Dwight Tiendali. A handshake from Michael Laudrup. The 19-year-old has just walked off.
He's just pinching himself, Rob.
Yes.
Have I really done this season? Have I really got into a Premier League side? Am I really a Welsh international?
Well, at least he's off the pitch, which means Gareth Blaney can get him quickly at the end, hopefully, for us on Radio Wales.
And he's going through all the coaching staff, and is that Chico Flores down there? Disappointing for him to get injured prior to this match. So, you know, lots of the players, they're sticking really a team ethic. They play as a team, and they're a team off the field as well.
Here we go, Lamar, right-hand side. Rangel's waiting for the ball in the middle. This is Roland Lamar. First time at Wembley. Can he get it over from the byline on the right? He's crowded out by 2 Bradford City players. He's fallen over. He's left the ball behind, and it's a goal kick.
Yeah, he wanted to make impression there to do a bit of dribbling on that right-hand side, but again, just got caught under his feet. And Bradford can... I wonder if there's ever been a stat in a cup final that the opposition haven't had a shot on target.
They've not had a shot, have they? No.
I don't think they've had a shot, let alone on target.
No. With all my preparation, I've not found that one, Ian Walsh. Sorry, you've defeated me there, but I'm sure someone might come up with it.
Yeah.
Now, there's a Bradford City free kick here.
So maybe they should shoot.
Yes.
Shouldn't they? Maybe
get me off the hook.
You know, looking at it, just gives a little bit of hope, you know, for what's been a really difficult day for the Bradford City fans in terms of having to watch, you know, the performance of Swansea City.
Into the last 5 minutes, Bradford City have a free kick, central position in the Swansea half. Davis is up, heads it back across, and it's hammered out for a corner. And listen to the cheers from the Bradford fans for a corner. There's a fan in front of me, stood up, a standing ovation for a corner in the last 5 minutes.
Oh, there's a little youngster to our left here with his granddad, it looks like, and he's saying, "Come on, Bradford." Why
fantastic not? The fans' final, it's been special no matter what the result. Now, 4 Bradford players on the penalty spot. This is supposed to be their strength. It's just, it comes off the top of Ashley Williams. They reckoned without the Wales captain.
Yeah, long throw again here.
A late flourish, but it won't delay the Swansea City celebrations. They lead by 4 goals to 0 on BBC Radio Wales Sport. Derby, the right back.
Oh, shoot.
Back to Gary Jones. Jones will shoot. It hits Ashley Williams on the edge of the penalty area. Well, it hit Ashley Williams in the stomach, but he was on the edge of the penalty area. Ball chipped in. Davis has stayed forward. Williams wins the header again. Monk wins the second header. Jones shoots. That does counter the shot. Tremble makes a save in the 87th minute.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. And we are laughing and giggling for the right reasons here. You know, the fact that was a shot, was an effort and it's a player that played for Swansea City, the captain of Bradford City.
13-1 the attempts on goal, 13-1.
Yeah, and I think this is just the second half, so no, that's it. So that bit of history making a team not hitting the target in a 90-minute spell, and it's the former Swansea player and captain Gary Jones that's hit a volley, let's say, not with great pace, It trickled into the arms of Gerard Tremmel, but it still counts as an effort on target.
It does. And at least Tremmel has done something to justify his wages. So Swansea City just playing down the clock now against the 10 men. It's not been a barnstorming bantam display, it's been a sizzling Swans super show as Routledge avoids De Guzman. No, it hits him, I think inadvertently. I think the target for that one was Rangel with a crossfield ball. Bradford have it, but in front of their own penalty area. They try to play the ball out of defence though. I don't think Phil Parkinson can have too many complaints about the effort his side have put in. Free kick to Bradford. Tien Darley making his presence felt on Zavon Hines.
Yeah, and you know, in a professional sense, it's important for the likes of Ashley Williams, Tremmel, to keep another clean sheet. And you know, they've kept clean sheets against top sides this season, been very difficult to break down.
Free kick from halfway for Bradford City. Davis, the centre-back, has gone up. Hansen to the target. It's cleared away by Ashley Williams.
Yeah, that's, he doesn't mess about, Ashley Williams. Getting the ball down and try to play his way out. Just clear the danger.
Late pressure from the underdogs, as Michael Laudrup called them in the week. And he just stands there, not passionless, because he celebrated. I've not seen him celebrate a goal like he did the Swansea third goal.
The third goal was a crucial goal, Rob. You know, it's a fantastic achievement. You know, people look back. These are massive days in the history of a football club, and they're massive days in the history of a manager. And to come here and stabilise Swansea in the Premier League and win a major tournament, he knew that that third goal, irrespective of who the opposition was vitally important, and that's why he celebrated that goal as he did.
Into the last minute, get the champers ready. You can start removing the bottles from the ice. Swansea City fans, the party is about to begin again. So many parties in the last few years. 3 minutes of added time between Swansea City and their grip on a major trophy. They're breaking down the right-hand side again. Could it be 5? They try to find Michu. That was Hernandez. That was a rare ball given away. But Britain thinks past 1. Ian Walsh says shoot. No, he lays it off to Rangel. Rangel back inside. Michu! Great save by McLaughlin. Comes back on a Tien Darley. Always hit the bar. It could have been 5. It's cleared away from the 6-yard box.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I was screaming for Leon Britton to shoot. You know, what a great achievement it would have been for Leon to have hit it from there, but they're still on the attack. Rob, let you back in.
Here we go again. 2 minutes left. Ball in the net. It is 5. It's 5 for Swansea City, and it's Jonathan De Guzman who steps into the 6-yard box and pokes it in from close range. His second, Swansea City's 5th. It's a 5-star show to win your first major trophy. Swansea City have obliterated Bradford. Swansea City 5, Bradford City 0.
Yeah, it was a great finish to Guzman getting in there. Fantastic ball from Angel Rangel into the near post. He's just been patient to Guzman. He's let it come onto his foot and he's just trickled it into the bottom corner. Keeper no chance. We have to say the keeper made a great save a few seconds earlier, but I think De Guzman's got a touch. It's eventually come off the thigh of a Bradford player, but De Guzman, you will never take that away from him. He's got his second goal, 1 from a penalty, and that 5th goal came. It was a bit long in coming, but it managed to get it.
The Swans are record breakers, a record score in the League Cup final, 5-0. It'll be a scoreline etched in the history of the Liberty Stadium club.
I've got to say that speaking to Owen Money on the radio this morning, and he said 5. So congratulations to Owen Money.
Hymns and arias. They heard it here 22 months ago when they reached the promised land. It's been repeated again. This time an even more convincing, another milestone in a period of just utter success for Swansea City. Monk hammers it away. He'll be lifting the trophy soon. It was a little limp. You don't want to limp, you've got to climb those steps, Gary Monk. Along with Ashley Williams. Rangel out to Hernandez. He hasn't scored, but he's been a major architect of this. Little couple of step overs into the penalty area. Pablo Hernandez lays it back, can't find his strike pal Michu, and it's out for a throw-in. Swansea City have won the Capital One Cup. Clear the Liberty Stadium cabinet. The Swans have their hands on their first major trophy. It's been a stroll at Wembley, but they'll go marching into Europe next season. The Swans' magical mystery tour is going continental after a 5-star display at the home of English football. De Guzman got 2, Nathan Dyer got 2, Michu inevitably on the scoreline. They have battered Bradford City. Swansea City 5, Bradford